Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Corsepius. As mentioned in an announcement last week, myself and Professor Alex have taken over your Chem 3A course and will be your instructors for the remainder of this semester. Professor Alex, who you met on Saturday, is taking over the lab portion of the course, whereas I'm taking over the lecture portion of the course. There were a few important structural changes that need to be made to the course as we sort of close things out. And so I just wanted to communicate those changes to you through this video, kind of put a face to the name, as well as explain what you can expect the rest of the semester to look like, as well as these changes that you may have seen in your gradebook over the past few days. So first of all, exams. I entered your exam 4 scores over the weekend, and taking a look at that class data, I put a curve on those exams. I also took a look at your past exam scores as well. Exam 1 looked fine, normally distributed scores. Exam 2 and 3 also I thought were a little unfair, and so I put a curve on those as well. So you'll see a change in your exam scores in your gradebook. They only went up a little bit, all right? Um, the biggest sort of change is around the discussion portion of the course because from my understanding of it, there was an attempt to have these team sort of discussions, and that kind of fell through as people stopped participating in the course, stopped replying, and stuff like that. And eventually, a change was made in the gradebook that just set all of these assignments to zero. The problem being is that some of them, specifically chapters 5, 6, and 7, were already graded. And so when those scores were changed to a total of zero, that made it look like a lot of people had above 100% of the possible points in that category, which was artificially inflating your grade. Um, I mean, that's a problem. You can't have a 10 out of 0 or something like that in this assignment. So what I did for those, because those were already graded and I don't want to take points away from everybody, is I've created a separate assignment that was like a mimic. And I went in, and if you were awarded those points, you get to keep those points. And if for whatever reason you didn't pass that assignment, whether it be because you just simply forgot to complete it or because you couldn't get your replies in, for whatever reason, if you did not earn a passing grade, you were simply excused from those assignments. So they didn't count against you so they aren't right now counting against you in your grade book. For all the ungraded discussions, which is chapter 8 and on, I'm only going to grade the initial reply to topics. So I'm not going to penalize you if you didn't reply to other students, regardless of whether that was because nobody replied or whatever the reason. I don't really care. The bottom line is that the only thing I'm going to be grading in those future discussion assignments is whether you did your initial reply to topic. Your lecture notes and your discussions were originally different categories of assignments in the syllabus. Because of the change of the points in those discussions, I've merged those two assignments into one category. So now it used to be that discussions were 10%, lecture notes were 5%. Now they have been combined into a total 15% category. All right. The discussions are done for this semester. However, lecture note assignments I've opened back up for you to be able to turn in any late work up until Friday of next week, so December 5th. If for whatever reason you have not gotten a lecture notes assignment in, you can turn it in late without any penalty up until Friday of next week. All right. And again, those are now going to be combined with your discussions to be a total of 15% category in your gradebook. Okay. Closing out this semester here, we have one more week of our final exam practice and then accumulating in that ACS final exam. That is worth 15% of your grade. That is not a decision that I or even Ms. Zhang had made. That is something that the CORs, which is what we have to follow based on what the rules of the college are, says that it has to be. There is always a pretty heavy curve put on this ACS exam. Nonetheless, obviously you want to do your best. There's been a study guide posted that has looked kind of specifically at this ACS exam and sort of rather emphasizes which topics you want to focus on. There have also been some practice exams that have been posted that you can work on as well. Lastly, I just want to say there's a lot of work to be done to catch up on grading in this course. the grading was just way behind schedule, which I understand is probably frustrating for you as well. I am doing my best, as well as Professor Alex is doing her best, to catch up as much as we possibly can so that you guys can have a good idea of where you stand heading in. But I just wanted to make a quick note here, and I'll sort of work this out into a discussion post as well. But just to let you guys know what these big changes are and what you can expect to see as we close out the semester here. All right. So good luck. Please let me know any questions you may have about either how the course is going to be finalized or any lecture content, anything you may have as we close out the semester here. All right. Good luck.